Hey again, it's Elizabeth the dietitian. Thanks for joining us, or me, for another week of talking nutrition, talking meal planning, talking label reading. I appreciate you joining me. We're going to be doing snacks today and furthering our conversation about sugars and understanding sugars and how to read labels for sugars. If you work with me professionally as a patient, you'll know this is one of my favorite topics when you meet with me, either in a group or one-on-one. I love to talk about this. It's very, very eye-opening. Sugars is a further conversation about carbs, which we started last week. So if you have questions about carbs, please refer back to last week because we covered it all week long last week, and we're just going to further it today. Carbs are really complicated, so I'm glad that we're taking 2 weeks to discuss it because it's just complicated. It's all complicated. So thanks for joining me. So our snack today is going to be ricotta cheese with blueberries. And I love ricotta cheese because it is the filling in cannolis, and I love cannolis. So we're going to do ricotta cheese with blueberries. Ricotta cheese is a protein, and I have found a fat-free ricotta cheese that I'm going to use because as you probably know too, over the past couple of weeks, that I love my dairy, so I like to keep my dairy fat-free. I like to get my fat in other places. As a friend pointed out to me yesterday, like from mayonnaise. So I'm gonna go with fat-free dairy, fat-free ricotta cheese, and some frozen blueberries. We're gonna start with that because I like the blueberries to be a little thawed out for eating. So I'm gonna go with a half a cup of ricotta cheese. Now here's the thing, as we look at this label of ricotta cheese, the serving size is 1/4 cup, and 1/4 cup offers us 8 grams of protein. So every 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese is like having an egg. So if I have a snack of 2 eggs, I don't think that's excessive, maybe a little excessive, but I don't think it's so bad. So I'm going to do a half a cup. If you wanted to do a 1/4 cup, that would be great too. Now the thing about the protein is, especially with the snacking, the thing with the protein is if you are truly hungry, like physically hungry, not emotionally hungry, but physically hungry, we do need a little bit of that protein to bring down that hunger hormone. So I think it's okay to have a lean protein for a snack, especially to bring down that hunger hormone. Okay, so here I have my ricotta cheese in a bowl, and then I'm going to do a half a cup of blueberries as well. I have no problem going a little bit more. The standard serving size of blueberries is 3/4 cup, so that's just fine too. So now I have my blueberries and my ricotta cheese. Now we're going to let this get a little bit more melty before we enjoy. But let's talk about some other things in the meantime. Now, you'll remember we talked about carbs in the past and how there are complex carbs. And actually, let me back up, that all carbs break down into sugar. Complex carbs are just clumps of sugar stuck together, and it takes us a little while to break them apart, right? Whereas simple sugar is 1 or 2 sugar strands stuck together, and it doesn't take much for us to break them apart and absorb them. Now, simple sugars can be natural or added sugar. Now, we prefer you to stick with the natural sugar because natural sugars tend to have vitamins and minerals and fiber. They're better for us, whereas the added sugar does not have any of that. It's just sugar. It's not known for having vitamins or minerals or fiber, so it is what we call an empty calorie because it doesn't offer us any nutrition at all. Okay, so you'll remember this, right? So we're going to talk today about sugars. Now, a little bit about the differences of the natural and the added as well. So, I just like to point out, natural sugar does come from milk and fruit. So when we're looking at labels at sugar, if it has a lot of natural sugar in it, it's either from milk or fruit. Okay, so let's see here. Ooh, and so when we are looking at labels, we will see where it'll say total sugar. Now, total sugar on the label. Now, we're going to find this under the carb section, and I'll show you a label in just a second. But total sugar is natural and added together. And then underneath your total sugar, you're going to see something that says includes blank grams of added sugar, and that is only the added sugar part. Now, here is my blueberry label. So you can see here, if the light would work with me, the serving size of this is, what is the serving size? See, I got my glasses out, I should put them on, right? Okay, 1 cup is the serving size. So I went with a half a serving, and it's got 19 grams of total carbs, 10 grams of total sugar, includes 0 grams of added sugar. So this whole section under here is about your total carbs. And as you can see, 10 of the 19 grams is sugar, but it is all natural sugar. And then it has 3 grams of 6 grams of fiber in it too. That's a nice amount of fiber. So that's kind of the breakdown. So of this 19 grams of carbs though, 10 of them are going to be instant quick sugar because they are a sugar. So that's something I like to point out too. But it has no added sugar in it. Okay. Now let's look at. I bought these for my children. These cinnamon donuts. Mom of the year right here. Did I just show Mom of the year? Woo woo. Okay. But let's look at these. Okay. Now the serving size of this is 2 donuts, and 2 donuts has 17 grams of total sugar with 17 grams of added sugar. So this has no natural sugar in it. All of it is added empty sugar, empty calories right there. Okay. All right. Now, as we've also talked about in the past, I do not relate 2 grams at all, right? What is 12 grams? Is it a lot? Is it not a lot? Is 17 grams of sugar a lot? Is it not a lot of sugar? Well, we have this very simple math equation to help us through this. They say, and I lost my marker. Oh, here it is. I found it. They say that 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. So whenever we see 4 grams of sugar on something, that is 1 teaspoon of sugar, right? 1 teaspoon of natural sugar, 1 teaspoon of added sugar, right? So these 17 grams of sugar, 17 divided by 4 is 4 1/4. So there's 4 1/4 teaspoons of sugar in the donuts, okay, in 2 donuts. Whereas this right here, this has 10 grams of sugar, of natural sugar, so this has 2.5 teaspoons of natural sugar, which is a lot better than the empty ones, right? I get that question a lot. Is it better or is it worse? What does it really mean? So I do think that it is in the world of weight loss, sugar. So if you are consuming too much natural sugar, that will be something to think about. Versus if you're having a lot of the added sugar. Hold on, my dogs are barking. I gotta take care of them. Okay, my dogs are taken care of. Sorry. So let's keep our talking about sugar. So as we look at stuff, it does tend to be a lot of added sugar and stuff that we don't even think about. Now, the USDA recommends that we get no more than 10 teaspoons of added sugar a day, right? That's the added, not the natural. They don't have a restriction on the amount of natural sugar we should be having every day. But they do say 10 teaspoons of added sugar a day. Now, the American Heart Association, their recommendations are a little more strict. They suggest no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar for women and 9 teaspoons of added sugar for men. So it is kind of, it is kind of, I don't want to say it's a moving target. There is a correlation between higher sugar intake and higher triglycerides and heart disease, which is why the American Heart Association is so strict about it. But the USDA is the 10 teaspoons are not terrible either, because it does add up really quickly, as we will see. Like if you had 2 donuts, you are halfway there for the day. Okay, so as we look at stuff, let's look at where sugar could be hidden in things, and I think it's worth thinking about, right? Now, I have this bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, right? Now, as we look at the label for the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, the serving size is 2 tablespoons. 2 of these is the serving size of barbecue sauce. I definitely have more than this when I have barbecue sauce, right? Now, if you look at it, so 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce has 17 grams of total sugar in it with 16 grams of added sugar. So 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce has as much sugar as 2 donuts. Just put that together myself. All right, so just beware of that. Now let's look and see what that actually looks like. Now 4 grams is 1 teaspoon, so if you take the grams of sugar and divide it by 4, that tells you how many teaspoons of sugar are in it. So 16 added teaspoons, not the 17 total, 16 added divided by 4 is 4. So I have a little thing of sugar here, okay? Now, so let's look and see. So this is my tablespoon, and each 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce has 4 teaspoons of sugar. So here we have a teaspoon of sugar. 1, 2, can you see this? Oh, it's already spilling out. 3, 4. So more than half of it is sugar, right? Okay. Now, just 2, we have ketchup. The serving size of ketchup is 1 tablespoon. Every tablespoon of ketchup has 4 grams of sugar in it. So every tablespoon of ketchup has a teaspoon of sugar in it. Okay? So let's see if we can do a good visual here. So we have, so for every tablespoon, we have a teaspoon of sugar. There's a lot of sugar in ketchup, which we don't think about. Now, someone had asked me a long time ago about these, you know, like how much should I get for my kids when I'm doing yogurt? What's an appropriate amount of sugar? And so this one right here, definitely need my old lady glasses for this one. This one here has, for total sugar, has 18 grams. Total sugar, 18 grams, includes 15 grams of added sugar. So this one right here, 15 divided by 4 is 3 3/4. So this pretty much has 4 teaspoons of sugar in here, and added sugar, not the natural sugar from the milk, right? So they changed the label. It used to just say total sugar, and we didn't know if it was added sugar, if it was natural sugar, if it was a little bit of both. And so this really clarifies that. So this one right here has 4 teaspoons of sugar in it. We are almost halfway to what the USDA recommends for the day in this Flips yogurt. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, you know, we said, I'm going to get out my pictures because they took some pictures of some stuff. You know how we said, you know, natural sugar, added sugar. So juice has a lot of natural sugar in it. And it is something I think we need to be aware of, because when we look at this, this is a picture of a label of a naked drink. Have you heard of those naked drinks? And this naked drink has no added sugar in it. They promote that on the cover. The serving size is 1 container, and 1 container has 49 grams of sugar in it. And they say everywhere that it's natural sugar, but 49 grams of sugar is 12 1/4 teaspoons of sugar. That's a lot of sugar, even if it is natural, right? I think that that's a lot of sugar. So I think that's just something to be aware of. Here we have some orange juice. And the orange juice, let's see, can you guys see this? The serving size of orange juice, yeah, it doesn't say. 8 ounces is the serving size of orange juice, and it has 22 grams of sugar. So 1 cup, which is 2 of these, has 5 1/4 teaspoons of sugar in it. all natural, but that's still that's still a lot, right? So I just want you to start looking at your labels. 4 grams is 1 teaspoon. So just beware of that. So here we have our ricotta and blueberries. My blueberries didn't melt as much as I wanted them to because it gets all like gooey and purpley. And if you need a little bit of sweetener in this, feel free to drizzle a little bit of honey. We do consider that an added sugar though. Or you could use some Truvia if you wanted to, or some maple syrup. Maple syrup is also an added sugar. So what we consider added sugar, sugar of course, honey, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, those are all considered added sugars. Okay, so this is my sugar talk. We'll talk more about it moving on. I'm actually going to have this for breakfast. This is a super quick, easy grab and go breakfast. This is easy to put together as cereal. Just do ricotta cheese and blueberries, and you got your protein, you got your starch. Well, not your starch, you got your fruit. And then I may grab a couple of rice cakes out the door too, because I like rice cakes. Okay, so thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Bye.